Hi guys, I'm here with another Yu-Gi-Oh Market Watch. I have a few cards and sets that I wanted to take a look at today. There hasn't been a whole lot happening in the market, but there's a few things that I picked up on that I wanted to kind of go over. First, I wanted to talk about Dotscaper. If you didn't know, this is being used in Cyberse Eldlik, and I actually found a copy in my bulk from the structure deck that I picked up a couple years ago. But if you didn't know, it's a common that's going for like $5, $4 to $5. So if you have these and you aren't playing it, I would like try to offload them because it's kind of ridiculous that this common's $4, especially since it's out of a structure deck. So it's like not short printed or anything. But I just listed mine up earlier today. It's something that was sitting in my bulk. I'm not going to use anyways. At one point I was playing it in a cyber strategy, but I've kind of pieced that deck out and sold part of it when I guess it was at Ignister started seeing a lot of play. I had that entire deck kind of built, but it was more of like a at Ignister / Cybers, and this was one of the cards I played in there. It's just an extender. But since I'm not playing that deck anymore, I'm going to get rid of it. I still have the Ignister cards, but it's probably something that I won't play for at least a very long time, just because I played it a lot back then. But yep, that's just something I would keep your eye on. I definitely won't be looking to pick these up at this price because this is going to be the highest that they're going to be. Next, I wanted to check back in on Incredible Ecclesia. When we were talking about this like a week or two ago, it was like around $45. I just wanted to point out that it's up to $55 now per copy for a verified seller. And then it quickly goes up to like $58, $60. So if you haven't got yours yet, I would still get them. It's not too late, but actually do want to check out Jesper, because I think this will kind of do a similar thing. Not as much though, because I think you're going to be playing this as a 2-of in the Albaz deck, whereas I think is it Jesper? Let's see. Let's just do it this way. I wasn't planning on looking at this, but we'll just take a check. I think it's like around $85, but I know that you would play as a 3-of, I think. I could be wrong. Alrighty. Aliber the Jester, not Jesper. But these, oh my god, these have gone up. So the market price is saying 95, and they are $100 solid. I think someone was saying you play this as a 2-of. But the thing is, this Dawn of Majesty basically has 0 value inside the box. So something had to give. The only thing that was worth anything is the Ready Fusion, which is worth around 20 to 22, maybe 25. I haven't checked in a while. But if you were going to pick these up, I would say it's too late at this point. If you were going to play the Albaz deck, I mean, I'd probably just wait till the Mega 10s at this point, because once this gets reprinted, this is going to be probably $30 to $5 to $40 max. But yeah, I would still say it's not too late to pick up your Ecclesias if you still want them. I don't think those will go to 100, but they could hit like 65 to 70. And I'm thinking about playing the Albaz deck, which is why I'm like going to try to pick these cards up. But I have not picked up these yet. So it looks like I won't be playing it until the Mega 10 comes out, because I refuse to pay $100 for this card. Next is Exo Sister Michaelis, coming out of Grand Creators. If you haven't seen the support that got announced for Exo Sisters, I would go check out a video on YouTube about it. It's actually a really good support. It makes this a really good rogue deck option. And I have seen videos too where people have been topping locals already with this. So I think that this is definitely going to be a good budget deck to play if you are more of a budget player. But these are going for around $5 currently. They were a lot cheaper. I think not too much cheaper, but like $2.50 to $3 before. But when the support got announced, this and packs both went up a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't show on the price history, but I'm pretty sure like even here you can see, let's see. Yeah, so there were sales like in the $3 to $3.50 range. But this set also hasn't been out too long in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I mean, it's only gone up about $1 to $1.50. So if you don't have these, I would recommend getting a couple. I'm not sure how many you play because I don't really know that much about the deck. I just have seen kind of a general information about how the deck plays and what support they're going to be getting in the future. But it's basically like a rank 4 spam deck, and it can kind of play when you're on your opponent's turn, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pick these up if you haven't already. Next, I kind of want to talk about Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1, just because the set has had some time to kind of saturate on the market a little bit. Well, it has and it hasn't, because there's not too much value attached to this product. It seems like nobody is opening them, and then also stores aren't opening them. They're just trying to clear out any inventory they have as far as boxes. They're not actually cracking them open. And one reason I can tell is because this has already been out, I think, for about a week. And if you look, like, the listings are very low, except for, I would say, the like secret rare promos that come in there. There are a few of those, but that's because they aren't very good. But if you look, like Elemental Hero, Shining Flare, Wingman, Common, Dual Terminal, there's only 3 listings. It's bought out to $10. Skill Drain, there's only 28 copies. And like Polymerization, 32 copies. Lava Golem, 37. It's just really low listings, especially for stuff that's guaranteed, like the promos. It's not guaranteed, like you're not going to guaranteed get a Power Tool Dragon every pack, but it's 1 out of 8, I think, 1 out of 7. I think it's 1 out of 7. So there should be hundreds of these here, but there aren't really. And part of that could be is just because it's been out for about a week and people have been ordering what cards they want. I definitely think we will see that because people aren't opening this. They're still going to want cards out of here, so they're going to be ordering the singles, which is fine. But I think that there could be a lot of value to have in this set because no one's going to spend their money to open these. They're just going to continue to buy the singles that they want. And I don't think major vendors are going to want to open this product either. Right now, they're selling like well below MSRP. I think MSRP is $15 and they're selling for like $11 to $12 per box, which is pretty crazy. But if you look through here, there's only 1 card at the $20 level, which is Skill Drain, which is pretty sad. I can't remember the last set. I guess all of these kind of premiere with cards that are less than $20 for the most part, but the value is a lot more spread out. You have a lot more like $10 cards on average. Because after this $20 listing, the only card that's $10 or above is the common Shining Flare Wingman, which is just completely bought out because it is pretty hard to pull common DTs in this set because there's such a large pool of commons that could be dual terminal. But other than that, like if I was going to say technically the most expensive card next to Skill Drain, it's going to be technically Pile Arm Dragon, because this is just bought out, so it's not like a good gauge of value long term, even though I do think this will be $10 long term. But that's pretty sad for value. I mean, by the 4th card, you're at $4, which is Polymerization. But that being said, I think that there's pretty good opportunities in here to make some investments because everything is so cheap. And there's not going to be a large population of these cards on the market because no one's going to want to open these. I imagine a lot of these boxes will sit on vendor shelves for years, probably, until something gives. Like if there's more value down the line, then maybe they'll say, okay, it's worth it now to open it, but that won't happen for a while. But Lava Golems, Blue Eyes for $3 is insane. I mean, that's literally 1% of what you would pay for the original, which, I mean, the original is way better, of course, but that's crazy that you can still get a version that looks good for $3. Yeah, Night Assailants, like I've talked about in the past, really good pickup. Power Tool, really good, especially since Power Tool is getting ready to get some support. Foremost Synchron is insane. Like I said, the commons were like $3 to $5 before this reprint. Cyber Dragons, of course. Really anything. There's really no bad pickups in this set, single wise. I mean, there are, but there are lots of good pickups, what I'm trying to say. On to Maximum Gold El Dorado. I just kind of want to go over this. I can't remember exactly. I think the MSRP went up on these boxes, and I think it's around $25 to $30. But let me know in the comment section down below if I'm wrong. Maybe it's 15, but I'm pretty sure I bought one of these at Target a while ago, and it was like $30 for a box, which means this is selling a little more than half the value of MSRP, which is kind of crazy, especially if you look at last year's Maximum Gold, which is like well above MSRP. But if you look through this set, there's really not a whole lot of value cards other than Access Code Talker. You pretty much need to hit Access Code or a combination of some of these of Chamber and Pot of Extravagance to make your money back. But I do think that this is a set that you can buy a couple of boxes at this price and do well long term, or buy singles. Well, I guess one example is last year, whenever they first got released, there were some higher value cards in there, but there were a lot of cards like staples like Solemn Judgment, Forbidden Chalice that were like 50 cents a piece, and I picked up a bunch of them, and I didn't think that they would go crazy in value, but I thought they'll be worth $1.50, $2, but they ended up being like $5 to $7 cards. Like Solemn Judgments, I bought a playset and sold them for like $7 a piece, which is insane. But with that being said, like I would pick up hand traps out of this set, IP Mascarenas, especially the alternate art for only like, I think it's like $4.50. It's kind of crazy. This was $15 for the longest time. Not the longest time, like a month, but I guess it's around $8.75 going up to 10. Still not bad. I probably wouldn't spend $10 on this personally. I think 6 or 7 would be like my target, maybe 8. Chamber, I just never really got with the Dragon Maid hype, honestly. So this just been one of those things where I don't really care to put my money into it. Although last year I did pick up like a playset of the Dragon Maids, of each Dragon Maid that came out, because they were like under 75 cents a piece, and those all ended up being like $4 or $5. But other than that, there's not a whole lot in here except for Invocation. I think this is definitely a card that you really want to take a look at, because I think you can get them for like $2 a piece. Let's see there. Well, let's see what a stack would be. I hate when this doesn't work. Oh, there we go. 3 or more. So it's around $3.50. And actually, let's take do item price only, because if I'm doing bulk, I don't care about that. Yeah, so I'll probably go for this. He's got 100%, and it's $2.80 a piece for Invocation, which was $40 to $50 for a very long time. I never expected these to go under $10, but I would pick them up now that they are, especially if because Invoked always kind of comes back. Especially the beginning of new formats where there's been a big ban list and there's kind of a shakeup and no one really knows what's going to be the dominant deck. It's an easy deck to revert to at locals or tournaments after in a new format. But other than that, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in El Dorado. And then next I wanted to mention the Ad Ignister stuff. Because it's so cheap now after the reprints. All these secret rares at one point, because I had a playset of all the secret rares from the original set, and I think I bought them originally for under $3 a piece, and then ended up selling them for like $20 a piece. Except for I think it was Achichi went to 20, and Picari went to like 15 to 16. But right now after the reprint, they're extremely cheap. You can pick up the reprints if you want to, because I think those are like 25 cents a piece, but I would highly recommend picking up the original secret rares because they look really good, and I think this is what people are going to gravitate towards if this deck ever gets picked back up again. But Aside from that, it's also just a really good rogue deck if you want to play budget, or you just want to have another deck to play, just because it's so cheap and pretty good. The only card that costs like any money whatsoever, oops, didn't mean to do that, is the rare that didn't get reprinted, which is Dorado. I still have like probably 10 of these that I probably need to sell because I opened quite a bit of these. But they're not first editions. They're like the special edition ones, but I don't think it matters. But these are around like $2.50 to $3, which is still not bad. That's basically the only card you would need. And Silent Minings you can pick up for like under $4. But yeah, like here's the reprints. They're like 10 cents a piece, 10 to 20 cents. So I would keep your eye on that. Oh yeah, and then to go along with that, the AI lands are like 4 to 5 for the secret rare and like 25 cents for the ultra rare. Either one's fine. Of course, like if you're going to do the secret rare monsters, then I would stick with the secret rare AI lands, and they also look really good too. I will say that. Next is Brigand the Glory Dragon, and this kind of goes along with the Albaz stuff. I would imagine that they're going to play this card because it's pretty good, I would think. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess there are deck profiles, so you can just see if people are playing this or not. But I would assume that this is going to be played. For one thing, it's just a really good target for Fallen of Albaz. But it's around like 85 cents to $1 for the original print. And if you don't know, it did get reprinted, but I think it got reprinted as a rare. Yes, it's a rare. So this will never have any value, but the ultra rare definitely will. If this is going to be played inside the deck. And there really aren't that many listings if you think about it. 95 is not that many. That will go pretty quick. I mean, of course, there's going to be more than 95 because people have multiple. But I would pick it up. It's a pretty good bet for $1. Next is Lyrilisk Ensemble Robin. These are running around $1. These were never really expensive. They were like $3.50 when Recital Sterling was at $3. But of course, when I got hit, this went sub $1. But doesn't mean that this card isn't really good. And it is generic as long as you have, if you're playing a deck that can spam level 1 monsters like Drytron. But it basically just bounces cards that are special summoned on the field back to the hand or extra deck bending. So I think it's just a really good card that you can set up. And I think people might be playing this in Drytron. Maybe not every deck, but I would if I was playing Drytron. Next is Pot of Desires. We've talked about this in the past, but now that it's been limited to 1, it's like super cheap. You can get a couple copies for $50 a piece, which I think is really good. Even if you just want to get 1 for yourself, that's fine. You don't need to like buy a playset, but having 1 around, I think, is a good idea. Unless you always know you want to keep 1 for yourself and never sell it. But I think this could come back to 3 someday. I don't think it's like that good. I don't agree with it ever being banned, but I think hopefully they'll release it. But if we want to look at some of the other versions, secret rares are going for, I think, like $12 to $15. Okay, so they've kind of come back up a little bit. They're like $19, which is still not bad. But at the point you're spending $20 on this, I would highly advise just get the ultimate rare. And then I know there's a collector's rare, but I just really don't like talking about that because I think it's just not the correct version to get if you're like considering that versus the ultimate rare. Ultra rares are now like $1 or $2. Yeah, so near mint's like $1.70. That's still decent, but I mean, I don't think you're going to get like a better chance to pick up the higher rarity version. So honestly, would not pick these up unless you just want to get a budget version. And then next, I'm going to talk about Crystron Halka Fibrax. This card's been spiking up super high because of the base deck. But I do think now is the time to sell this card because I do believe that they're going to reprint this and Ghost from the Past. I have no confirmation on that, but I just think that it's time. It's been 2 years. So they either have to print it in that or the next Brothers of Legend. It just doesn't make sense for them not to capitalize on this card. I think they've been waiting for this card to get a lot of value to capitalize on the reprint, personally. But if you are going to play the base deck or you really need this, I would say get the ultimate rare because you're only paying like $50 extra, which is still a lot. But if this card gets reprinted, this card's going to $15 to $20, whereas this isn't going to go anywhere. So I would just keep that in mind. But if you have the ultimate rare, I wouldn't say necessarily sell that. That's fine to hold on to. But if you have the ultra rare, I definitely would sell it if you can. Next is Trap Tricks Reflagio. This is just a pretty good card in trap decks that can make rank 4s. And the artwork is amazing. But if you don't have these yet, I would get one. At least the alternate rare. The secret rares are fine too if you don't want to invest this kind of money into it, which is perfectly fine. But it's going for around 35 for a light play and around 37 for near mint, which I think is pretty cheap because this card has consistently spiked up to the $55 to $60 range in the past. And now that we've covered this, or after we cover this, I also kind of want to go look at Sarah because I think that card has also been spiking recently. So the secret rare first edition for lightly play is 670, near mint unlimited 7. I imagine first edition will be 7 too. Yep. So I would pick this one up if you're not gonna get the ultimate rare. I wouldn't mess around with the Mega 10 version. But let's look at Sarah. Oh my God. So it's going for around 28 to 30, it looks like. I actually have 3 of these because I have the deck build. I just haven't played it in a while. And I have 2 of the ultimate rare Reflagias, which I will never sell. Maybe one of them if it like goes crazy in value, but I definitely always have one around. Oh, also I might as well just show those so you can kind of see them in person. They look really good. I don't know how easy that is to see, but it looks pretty good in person. I will say that I wish they would do the OTS Ultimates like they did like the older versions where there's like a lot of detail. It seems like with the OTS pack, even though they still look really good in my opinion, it's just you have like a lot of, I guess what I would say is like a common print inside of the ultimate rare, which is like, and then they have like the ultimate rare surrounding that. But if you have something like Zeus, where like the I don't really know what to call it, I guess like the figure or the person in the picture is really big, that means just like the ultimate rare foiling in the picture is going to be like pretty small. Like there's not going to be a lot of foiling around it. And one good example I can give is Requiem. I have those right here as well. I guess this isn't the best example. Yeah, it's not the best example, but as you can like kind of see, like the actual dragon is like mostly common. So you get less foiling, but this one actually has more foiling than I remembered. But yeah, you can see it with Reflagio too, where like the actual girls, there's no foiling on them. It's just the foiling surrounding them. So I wish that they would go back to the old style of foiling. Whereas if you look at like an older style foiling like Chidori, the entire thing is ultimate rare, which I think looks better in my opinion. It also depends on how far back you go to, because then you also have stuff like Bubble Man, where like he's common, but the surrounding bit is ultimate rare foiling, even though those still look really good, I think. But either way, it's a good looking card. But Trap Trick Sarah, it's going for 30. If you have these and you aren't going to be playing them, I would maybe sell them because I just can't imagine how long this will go without a reprint. I will probably sell 2 of them and keep one because I don't think I'm going to be playing this deck anytime soon. But who knows? I feel like as soon as I sell them, then I'll be like, oh, I want to play this deck. So I'll think about it for sure. This is the highest it's been in recent memory, I think, because it did go down to like 20 to 24 for a while, which 20 is not a bad range to pick them up. I think when I got them, they were like 10 or $12. And then lastly, I wanted to kind of talk about infinite impermanence. Right now, it's not really seeing too much play in main decks, at least. Maybe people are side decking them like I am, but people are choosing to play like Forbidden Droplets over this, or like Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler. But I think that this is a card that you should be picking up now. Kind of like Veiler or Ghost Ogre, like they were super cheap for a pretty long time, but then as soon as they start seeing play, then they get bought out really quick. And then they just kind of go crazy in price. We'll actually take a look real quick at Ghost Ogres, because it's insane to me how low these were like not long ago, like a couple months ago. Like you could get the, I remember talking about it, you can go back through my videos and look at it, but the secret rare first edition lightly played was like $45 when I picked up one. And now like the lowest first edition is probably like $150. And I actually did sell mine, because I with these kind of hand traps, I pick up the high rarities when they're not being played, and when they're cheap, and then I sell them whenever they are seeing play, and then I'll pick them back up later, of course. But right now, I hate all of these picture ones that are like Korean. You can't even play here, so why are they listing that up? So a French light play is 93. Let's see, lightly played actually is 115, which isn't like, I guess, like too terrible, but I mean that's like a good bit more than Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom, which I think is crazy. I think Ash Blossom should be the dominant hand trap that should be worth the most amount of money. But near mint's 140, which is crazy. And then at the same time, the ultimate rares were like, for like a light play when I picked mine up not long ago, were like $130, and now we're like, I think 200 plus. Light play is 220, near mint's 250. I wouldn't pick those up if I were you. It's just kind of at its max price. Like, would you rather have this or ultimate rare Forbidden Droplet? I guess it depends on the person, but I would rather have the droplets, because droplets are always going to see play. But even if you look at the reprint ultra rares, they're like, there's like less than 30 listings, and it's like $8. I actually have this gold rare version as well, and I think it's like worth $10 right now. It's gone down a little bit. It was at like $10 to $12, but now it's like $9. But I would always consider with hand traps to have like a play set that you wouldn't mind playing within your deck, and then whenever they're not seeing play, like go buy a couple of copies of like the high rare versions, and then if you just want to play those, get them for a good price, and if you want to sell them and make some money, you can just sell them. But even the like dual power ones are like $8 as well. I also have Legendary Collection Kaiba, which we'll check in on. And mine's a first edition. So it's around $7 to $8. These were $3 at the time as well, like $3 to $4. And then even the maximum gold is like $5 to $6, which these were like $2 to $3, I think at one point, maybe even $1.50. But my point is, like these, like there's not nearly as many of these printed, and definitely they're going to be a lot more expensive than this when they start seeing play again. Like, because you can get the ultra rares now for like, I think they're like 14 to 15, which they were like 40 to 45 when this was seeing play in almost every deck. And they won't go back to that price point just because we now have two reprints, which are the premium gold and the super rare of the structure deck. But they will definitely, the ultra rares will probably be back to like 28 to 30, and the reprints will probably be 20 plus again. And you can pick up the high rarity versions too. These will go up a lot too if they start seeing play. The secret rare has stayed pretty steady, but I think even it is down because the first edition was $100 back then. But let me see what it is going for now. Actually, I'm just not going to mess with filters. We'll just try to scroll through. But light play is like 50. Light play unlimited. Light play first edition $53. That's crazy. Yeah, definitely pick this up if you don't have them and you want to play or you want to invest in this card. The Ultimate Rare is good too. It looks really good, but this is going to be performing similar to how Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre have been. It's a first edition secret rare hand trap, so that's all there is to really say about that. Besides that, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about what we went over, and if there's any cards you're looking at currently, and let me know what decks you're playing. But other than that, I will be announcing the giveaway of the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 box, I guess the next video. And then that'll probably be either tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow because I'm going to be gone this weekend. But thanks for watching and have a good weekend.